When is a child either a boy or girl old enough to get married? According to the United Nations Children's Fund, child marriage is referred to both formal marriages and informal unions in which children under the age of 18 live with a partner as if married. According to statistics, it is estimated that 1,500 children are getting married every year in Malaysia, with 90% of them are girls. It is surprising to see that child marriage not only occurs in rural areas, but also occurs in the urban areas across all states and ethnics and communities, with most prevalence in Muslim communities. There are many factors leading to this old-fashioned, corrupted custom. First and foremost, the dual legal system, civil law for non-Muslim or Sharia law for Muslim in Malaysia, has encouraged the existence of child marriage. According to Islamic law, girls can get married at minimum 16 years old, and for boys, it is minimum 18 years old. However, they can be exempted from this rule for getting married at a much younger age if they get consent from the Sharia court. For non-Muslims, both boys and girls can only get married from 18 years old, but girls can be married from 16 years old as long as they get permission from the staff chief minister. Other than that, poverty also leads to child marriage. For many poor families, they tend to marry their daughters at an early age as they see marriage as a way to reduce family costs. Impoverished parents may perceive child marriage as a source of income when the groom's family pays dowry to the bride's family. A case in Kelantan causes an outrage on the internet where a 15-year-old girl gets married to a 44-year-old man as the second wife due to poverty. This is just a tip of the iceberg. There are more cases of child marriage happen every day in Malaysia. Last but not least, lack of education strongly correlates with child marriage. Lack of access to education, especially in the indigenous communities, causes low or no schooling among children. Those who drop the school are less likely to get a comprehensive knowledge about sexual and reproductive health, thus increasing the risk of behaviors like unprotected premarital sexual intercourse, resulting in pregnancy which further increasing school dropout rate, leading to a vicious cycle. According to the Minister of Religious Affairs Idris Ahmad, 445 teenagers dropped out of school to get married in 2020, including 411 girls and 34 boys. Child marriage brings negative consequences to both society and child brides. It has the greatest impact on child's physical and emotional health. An early marriage means that the child brides will get pregnant before they are physically mature, causing some complications such as higher risk of pregnancy-related high blood pressure, higher mortality rate, and giving birth to underweight babies. They are also exposed to sexually transmitted disease like AIDS due to unsafe sex and inappropriate women health care. Moreover, they also face emotional problems like depression due to the heavy burden of raising a child and family when they are still immature.
Moving on, the child bride may also be exposed to violence by her older partners. They are at twice risk of being beaten or threatened by husbands. Due to their young age, they do not have the ability to seek help or resist the violent behaviors of their spouses. Furthermore, they are economically dependent on their husband since they have a low education level and less economic opportunities. They are even deprived of the right to freedom of expression and the right to protection from all forms of abuse as their husbands override them. Child marriage also brings economic loss to country due to the loss of productivity and income. Girls who are deprived of access to education will decrease their job opportunities. They also develop fewer decision-making skills and bargaining power. On the other side, the child groom will drop out of school early and take up low-paying jobs to earn a living. This reality reduces the human capital, causes withdrawal from the labor market, thus disrupting the economic growth of a country. After understanding the negative consequences aroused by the child marriage, what should be done to stop it? it is always the most important thing to amend the existing laws that indirectly permit the child marriage. In 2020, the ministry had launched a 5-year national strategy plan to handle the causes of child marriage. The federal government is also working on amending the Law Reform, Marriage and Divorce Act 1976 as well as Islamic family laws, so that minimum age of marriage is at 18 in every state without exceptions. Unfortunately, Sarawak, Pahang, Terengganu, Kedah, Kelantan, Perlis, and Negeri Sembilan refused to do so. According to the ministry, they won't give up to obtain the agreement from those states. At the same time, campaigns, talks, and workshops should be held to deliver the sexual and reproductive health (SRH) information to the public, especially parents and children themselves. The immature children and teenagers should be equipped with sufficient knowledge to know their bodies, respect themselves and others, and protect themselves against any forms of abuse. To educate the parents, seminars can be organized to teach them some skills in inculcating their children about SRH knowledge so that they do not take this issue as sensitive and embarrassing to discuss with their children. Lastly, the teachers and counselors at school should also guide the students on this topic so that they will seek help when facing abuses. To sum up, child marriage is a social issue that must be solved to secure the rights of children in every aspect. This is because children are our future leaders and we should protect them before they have the ability to protect themselves. Although in the fight to end child marriage, we still have a long way to go, we should not stop our efforts in saving the precious childhood of thousands of children around Malaysia. We should always remember that child marriage is a losing game, so stop it before we lost the game.